Good day, everyone. Good day, viewers. I am David e.t.c, and this very morning, 17th of October, I'll be speaking to you on World Poverty Eradication Day. What is it all about? It's a day that was set aside by the United Nations in order to talk about how poverty can be eradicated from this world. In order to see that the number one sustainable development goals, that's the SDGs, is achieved. That's their number one goal on how to eradicate poverty. First of all, I would like to start with the definition of poverty. What is poverty? Poverty is when one is not able to meet with the basic amenities of life. When one is not able to get a shelter, is not able to get the clothing, is not able to get the food, that person is said to be poor. That person is said to be in poverty. And it has been found and it has been recorded in the world that so many people all over the world are in poverty. Now, people have been asking me, David, is poverty possible to be eradicated? I say yes. Poverty can be eradicated from Nigeria. It can be eradicated from the world. It needs a heroic effort to do that. They ask me, why is it important? Now, I want to tell you why it is important. Why this day is important. Why this day? Why it should be to be remembered. Why is it to always remembered? It is remembered because it calls for enhancement. It calls for developing minds. It brings about building up youths like us who will want to make sure these things are out of the world. By the time a youth gets hold of this and says, yes, I stand to make sure poverty is eradicated from the world, from Nigeria, you'll find out that you want to work towards it. This also helps to motivate them. There's so many things that can be done now to make sure that poverty is eradicated from this world. One of those things is quality investment on education. If our education in this world is given adequate time, if it is invested on appropriately, you will find out that education is one of the things that makes sure that poverty can leave the world. Take a look at Nigeria, for example. Nigeria pays less attention to education. Why? Because they find and see that education is not a priority. But education is one of the priorities that a nation is supposed to take hold of. By the time you find that you give quality investment on education, the children are in school, the youths are in school, you'll find out that there will be less attention even to illegitimate things. There will be no attention to bad things. There will be no attention to evil, because they are busy in school, and by the time they are done with school, you'll find out that they want to get a place where they can explore their experiences. That's where creation of job comes in. By the time job is created, you will find out that people who has gotten this knowledge in school want to invest that experience that they got in school. By this way, you find out that poverty is already eradicating, is already leaving gradually. Another thing is good governance. By the time there's a good governance, there's good government in a nation, you will find out that they will not only want to pay attention to their families and their generations, gathering wealth for only themselves, gathering wealth for only their nations, gathering wealth for only their generations, which is very bad. But if there's a good governance who wants to make sure that the interest of the people is their priority, is their concern, you find out that they will want to pay more attention to that. They want to make sure that people who even are in this poverty are brought out from poverty. Strength that you are involving, you will find out that it will be very, very good, and the nations will be getting gradually out of poverty. And now I want to make you know something, that it is good to know that eradicating poverty is not a task of charity. Rather, it is an act of justice. It is an act of justice, I repeat. We were not called to this world to be poor. While we were under creation, God did not say you will be poor, you will be rich. Never. He did not make such statement. Rather, he said, go into the world, be fruitful and multiply. Fruitful and multiply does not mean only in childbearing. It also means in wealth. It also means in riches. Now, I want to also let you know that poverty is not contagious except you want to contact it. I repeat, poverty is not contagious except you want to contact it. What do I mean by that? You cannot say, I am born to be poor. You cannot say poverty is in my lineage. You cannot say poverty is already what my father passed to me. No. You can always make up your mind and say, I will be different. I will be an exception from others. If everybody was poor, I refuse to be poor. That is what Poverty Eradication Day can do, and that is what it is meant to do. The youth outside there, we can make a difference. We all can make a difference. We can prove to the world that by the time it's our turn to be there, we will make sure that there are changes everywhere. I am a youth. You are a youth listening to me, and you're already saying in your mind that yes, it's true. I want to let you know that we all can do this. We all can get rid of poverty. Poverty must die, as I always say. Poverty must die. We cannot be poor. We are not called to be poor. If we are poor, how will we be able to meet up with our activities? How will we be able to meet up with the basic amenities of life? When everything in this world now is always involving with money, involving with those who are on the top. Come on, what do you now talk about those who are average, those who are poor? What will happen to them? That is why we need to make sure we get rid of poverty. I want to also leave something with you. Even at the end of this video, I want to make sure that I repeat that again to you, that poverty is not contagious. You all have to just make up your mind. Just have to make up your mind and say, I cannot be poor. And when you're saying I cannot be poor, does not mean you should sit at home. You get involved in something. Make sure you put your hands doing something that will yield that thing that you want. Come on, if God wants to bless you, He needs a medium to use to bless you. God cannot send money from above. He cannot send food from above. He needs a medium of which He will use to make sure you are brought out from poverty. So, my fellow youths out there, I will actually advise this very moment that if you're at home listening to me, it is necessary that you get involved in something. It is necessary that you put your hands doing something in order to make sure that together we eradicate poverty from this world. I'm going to stop here, and at the end of this, you will find out that maintaining financial independence will not be a problem to you because the money is there. So, at this point, I will say thank you very much for actually making out time to listen to my